What is up, everybody? It is the True Epic Gamer here, and it is officially that time. Mario Kart World has been out for almost 3 weeks now, and at this point most people who own a Switch 2 have had plenty enough time to give it a real shot. Even those who don't have one have watched enough YouTube videos to form their own opinion on the game. And let's just say the community is very divided on this one. I made a video recently covering some of the flaws in Mario Kart World, and the comments absolutely blew up. Seriously, 3,000 comments is insane. Everyone had something to say. Some people in a nice way, others not so much. But one thing became really clear looking at those comments. A lot of players feel like Nintendo dropped the ball with this one. And I kept seeing the same thing pop up over and over. People saying they're going back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, calling it the better game and the only real way to play traditional Mario Kart on the Switch. Now, before everybody jumps on me in the comments, let's be real, you probably already typed out that hate comment. Just remember, I'm just one guy with one opinion. But in that video, you all had plenty to say as well. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched that video. It passed 130,000 views and has almost 5,000 likes, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, I can't talk about every single comment since there's 3,000 of them, but I do want to take a look at a couple of them that really stood out. Let's take a look at a few comments that actually inspired me to make this video. A ton of you made it really clear that you think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the better game. Some of you straight up said you're not going to buy World because 8 is that much better, and a few of you even have World and ended up switching back to 8 anyway. So what's the big deal? Is Mario Kart World really that bad? And is it really that much worse than Mario Kart 8? Well, yes and no. There are some things that Mario Kart World was always going to lose at. For one, it obviously couldn't launch with over 100 tracks like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has now, but honestly, I don't see a lot of people complaining about that. What people are really mad about, myself included, are the fundamentals of the game. The biggest change? Nintendo basically shoved the classic 3-lap system format to the side and replaced it with this strange system where you drive a 2-lap highway, intermission is what a lot of people want to call it, and then you do a single lap on the actual track. If you've seen my other videos, I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but that just doesn't make any sense. It completely ruins the Grand Prix experience in single player, since there's no way to just race a normal 3-lap race. And it ruins online as well, because the only way to get a standard race is if everybody picks random and you get lucky and it lands on somebody that picked random. Otherwise, you end up doing the intermission tracks, the highways, the slow, long, wide open tracks you keep seeing in other people's videos. These changes alone make Mario Kart 8 Deluxe feel like the better experience, and I don't blame anybody for switching back. The next biggest complaint I've seen you guys talk about is the 24-player races and how they actually make the game worse. At first, 24 racers I thought actually sounded pretty cool, like it might turn up the classic Mario Kart chaos that we all love, and it does do that, but in the worst way imaginable. With 24 players crammed on a single track, the game doing everything it can to keep everybody close together, it just turns into a stampede. You've got 23 players bumping into each other non-stop, and maybe one guy who's ahead of the pack staying out front until the very end when somebody in 4th place uses a ridiculously overpowered item and then just rockets into 1st. And that's pretty much what happens every single race, and that's just comes with this 24-player races. With all the rubber banding, the flood of items that everyone has, and how much pure luck it takes to win, it just doesn't feel skill-based anymore. And I'm not the only one saying this. Tons of players have mentioned they just want the option to race with 12 players again. And until that happens, this is just one more reason people are going to go back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or just not buy Mario Kart World altogether. But the number one reason most people are sticking with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you guessed it, it's simple, it's money. Let's break it down. First, you gotta buy a brand new console for $450. Then Mario Kart World is another $80 if you can't get the bundle. So you're looking at over $530 just to play a Mario Kart game that you might not even like as much as the one that you already own. And that 10-year-old game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it has over 100 tracks, a huge character roster, kart customization, 12-player races, and the classic 3-lap system that we all grew up with. When you stack it all up, it's pretty obvious why so many people are sticking with Mario Kart 8. Why pay more for less content? But let's not make this video completely one-sided. There are definitely a few things Mario Kart World does better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. First off, the visuals. I know some people will say that the design is better in MK8, but honestly, it's subjective and it's opinion based. But at the end of the day, Mario Kart World in 4K looks pretty incredible, and I personally think it's a step up visually from Mario Kart 8. Then there's the new rail grinding and wall riding mechanics. Easily some of the best additions that we've ever gotten in a Mario Kart game. These actually add a huge skill gap, which is something that can make this game fun forever, and it will be very, very hard to master. If you don't believe me, go watch some of the time trials and check out the insane shortcuts that people are pulling off with these new mechanics. It'll give you some serious Mario Kart Wii vibes. And finally, we've got to mention the open world. Yes, I've criticized it before, and I still think it's completely bare bones and could have been way better than it is. But at the same time, it's still something cool that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't have. Just being able to drive around freely and explore something outside of just the usual races is a nice little bonus. So, what do you guys think? Is Mario Kart World worth the upgrade, and does it live up to the hype? Or is it a little bit of a letdown and you think you'll just stick with Mario Kart 8? Let me know in the comments. I'll be trying to reply to everybody at least one time. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, peace.